Donald Trump was crashing out in the Oval Office. He just wrapped up a disastrous press conference regarding this unlawful war in Iran. And Donald Trump was bragging that Iran gave him a present. He said, they gave me a present. It was such a beautiful present. And it's a lot of money, this present. What are you talking about? I mean, as we speak, the war is escalating. You are sending thousands of troops for a potential ground invasion in Iran. We're seeing Iran successfully strike areas in Israel right now. Things are getting worse out there. What are you talking? You got a prize? The hell is he talking about? Play this clip.
Because they're going to make a deal. They're going to make a deal. They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present worth a tremendous amount of money. And I'm not going to tell you what that present is, but it was a very significant prize. And they gave it to us, and they said they were going to give it. So that meant one thing to me: we're dealing with the right people.
Is that nuclear related?
No, it wasn't nuclear related. It was oil and gas related. And it was a very nice thing they did. But what it showed me is that we're dealing with the right people. Because, you know, you don't know, because the leadership was killed, all gone. Khomeini, all gone. As the expression goes, the past supreme leader. And then the new supreme leader was racked up, at a minimum racked up pretty good. And everyone else was gone. And then many of the people in the third tier are gone. But we're dealing with a group of people that I think turn out. And the present, the gift they made to us was very significant. And they said they were going to do it, and it happened. And they're the only ones that could have done it. Jennifer?
Was it related to the Strait of Hormuz and the flow of...
Yeah, it was related to the flow and to the Strait, yeah. It was.
Then Donald Trump says that Pete Hegseth and General Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, were disappointed when describing a potential ceasefire or settlement agreement with Iran because they don't want settlement. All they want is war and death. Here, play this clip.
And that's exactly what we're doing in historic fashion. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank you, Richard.
Mr. President,
You know, the only two people that were quite disappointed, I don't want to say this, but I have to. I said, Pete and General Raisin Kane, I think this thing's going to be settled very soon. Here they go. Oh, that's too bad. Pete didn't want it to be settled. It's these guys are doing a great job. That's a good attitude, though, Tom, right? They were not interested in settlement. They were interested in just winning this thing. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, can you, just taking things...
And then that's what Pete Hegseth says. Pete Hegseth says, the way we negotiate is with bombs. The way you negotiate is with bombs. Do you realize how idiotic you sound? Do you realize the dangerous words coming out of your mouth that will only fuel further support for the Ayatollah and for the Islamic Republic against the U.S. when you say things like that? Here, play this clip.
The air campaign that we've conducted, that Israel's conducted alongside us, was one for the history books, truly. And it's because we have a president of the United States that when he sends his warfighters out to fight, he unties their hands to actually go out and close with and destroy the enemy as viciously as possible from moment one. And that's why we see ourselves as part of this negotiation as well. We negotiate with bombs. You have a choice as we loiter over the top of Tehran, as the president talked about your future. The president has made it clear that you will not have a nuclear weapon. The War Department agrees. Our job is to ensure that. And so we're keeping our hand on that throttle as long as hard as is necessary to ensure the interests of the United States of America are achieved on that battlefield.
Then Donald Trump says that it was very unexpected for him that Iran would strike the UAE and Qatar and Saudi Arabia. Nobody knew this, Donald Trump says, when in fact everybody knew this. We knew this months ago. His intelligence community knew this. He should have known this, but he's bragging about how stupid and ignorant he is. Here, play this clip.
Unexpectedly, when this war broke out, unexpectedly, they started sending missiles to UAE, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Bahrain, and elsewhere. And nobody thought they were going to... Were you equally surprised by that, Pete?
Way more than we thought with the president.
Pete, do you want to give about a 3?
Now, one of the things we're learning as this crash out in the Oval Office is taking place is that the United States has been trying to work with a group of regional mediators, including Egypt, Pakistan, and Turkey, to try to hold high-level peace talks with Iran. The problem is Iran is not responding, and they don't want to hold these peace talks, according to Axios and other reporting out there. Also, Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, is concerned that if Trump strikes a deal that falls short of Israel's objectives, that is a big problem for Israel. Back to Donald Trump's crash out in the Oval Office right now. Donald Trump's like, so we did do regime change if you think about it. We killed the old people. And so sure, there may be new people who are more extreme than the old people. And maybe we further empowered the Revolutionary Guard in Iran, but we did kill the old people. Regime change. We did it. We won. Here, play this clip.
Sound like adults to me, even though they are sort of children, right? They'll always be your children. But I hate to say it, but we killed all their leadership. And then they met to choose new leaders, and we killed all of them. And now we have a new group, and we can easily do that, but let's see how they turn out. We have really regime change. You know, this is a change in the regime because the leaders are all very different than the ones that we started off with that created all those problems. So this was, I think we can say, Jason, this is regime change, right?
What makes you trust them?
I don't trust.
And if you were like, well, Ben, he didn't say we won in that clip. Come on, Ben. Stick with the facts, Ben. What are you doing? This is the MeidasTouch Network. Y'all just brought in Scott McFarlane. By the way, subscribe to Scott McFarlane's YouTube channel. Let's get it 100,000 subscribers. It's at Scott McFarlane News. But you think I'm going to bring in Scott McFarlane and not come with receipts? Here, Donald Trump says, this war has been won. We won it. If you read the news, what if we read your Truth Social posts? Here, play this clip.
Yeah.
President Trump, on a human level, how hopeful are you that this peace deal will work out? Like as a human,
On what?
on a human level, not as the president of the United States. How hopeful are you that this peace deal will work out with Iran?
You're talking about to end it? Well, I think we're going to end it. I can't tell you for sure. You know, I don't like to say this. We've won this. This war has been won. The only one that likes to keep it going is the fake news. I mean, the New York Times, you read the New York Times, it's like we're not winning a war where they have no Navy and they have no Air Force and they have no nothing. And we literally have planes flying over Tehran and other parts of their country. They can't do a thing about it.
More from Donald Trump right here. A reporter asks, so do you trust Iran? Do you trust the Ayatollah? Watch what he says. Play this clip.
You can say, Jason, this is regime change, right?
What makes you trust them?
I don't trust anybody. I don't trust you. I mean, that's only because I know you. But if I didn't know you, I'd probably have more trust. But I don't trust anyone.
Why bother talking to them?
Why do you say that? Why do you say what makes you trust? Do you think I trust them? I don't trust them.
Then why bother talking to them?
Because they're going to make a deal. They're going to make a deal. They did something yesterday that was amazing, actually. They gave us a present, and the present arrived today. And it was a very big present.
What about Saudi Arabia, Donald? There's been reporting that the Crown Prince has been encouraging you to do certain things relating to Iran. Now, this question was purposefully vague because I think the reporter knew that Saudi Arabia was trying to at least publicly hide that it was already involved in this war against Iran. But Donald Trump's like, oh, MBS? He's a warrior. He is fighting with us. Also, he has given your family billions of dollars, or at least hundreds of millions of dollars, in my opinion. Play this clip.
On Saudi Arabia, there's been some reporting that you've been talking to the Crown Prince. Have you been focused on normalization between Saudi Arabia and Israel at this
Well, no,
point?
we have a great relationship with Saudi Arabia. What do you hear with Saudi Arabia?
Just hearing that you've been talking and that he has been encouraging you to do certain things related to Iran. Can you share a little
He's
bit?
a warrior. He does, yeah. He's a warrior. He's fighting with us, by the way. Saudi Arabia has been excellent, and UAE, excellent. And I will tell you, Qatar, incredible. Qatar took a hit, pretty bad hit, Qatar is very close. You know, they're essentially, you can walk right over the border. Qatar took a hit. They've been great. They've been very strong. Kuwait, they had a little mishap. They shot down 3 planes with our missiles. They happen to be our planes. But the pilots made it. Can you imagine the pilots making it? The pilots saw what was coming. And they said, those are patriots. We're not going to escape patriots. And they got out of there pretty quick, Pete, right? Pretty amazing that they got out. The 3 pilots lived. They're fine. In fact, they're flying today.
It was the Kuwaitis that accidentally fired.
Then a reporter says, so there have been some reports that J.D. Vance is leading the negotiations with Iran. And the reason that it's Vance is that from some sources, they've said that Iran doesn't want to deal with Witkoff and Kushner because the last time they were involved, there was immediately after a deal was reached with the Oman foreign minister, the U.S. struck Iran. So Donald Trump's like, yeah, it's J.D. Vance, but then it's also Witkoff and Kushner, which again undermines, even if it's Vance and these other people are in the background, Iran doesn't want to deal with Kushner and Witkoff. So saying Kushner and Witkoff is involved sends a signal to Iran that you're not serious about discussions. Here, play this clip.
Yeah.
I know you said there's a bunch of people from the administration who are negotiating with Iran. There's been reports that the vice president is leading those negotiations. Is that true?
Well, he's involved in them. JD is involved, and Marco's involved, and Jared Kushner's involved, very smart guy, and Steve Witkoff, smart guy, is involved. And I'm involved. I'm involved. Why? Well, I'm going to be so big. Oh, I don't want to talk about it. I'm the president of the United States, Tom. And I'm not going to talk about it. It's beneath me to talk about saving millions of lives, because that's what you're talking about. You're talking about saving millions of lives. If Iran had a nuclear weapon, they would have used it.
Then you have Pete Hegseth saying, when the president says war fighters are going to fight, we're vicious. We're as vicious as you can be. Watch Hegseth. It's idiotic. Let's play it.
Never in history has a modern military, Iran had a modern military, a modern navy, a modern air force, modern air defenses, leadership, massive bunker. Never has a modern military been so rapidly and historically obliterated, defeated from day one with overwhelming firepower. The air campaign that we've conducted, that Israel's conducted alongside us, was one for the history books, truly. And it's because we have a president of the United States that when he sends his warfighters out to fight, he unties their hands to actually go out and close with and destroy the enemy as viciously as possible from moment one.
Then Donald Trump is like, if we didn't have the B-2s hit, now we obliterated. Everyone's obliterated. Okay, well, I see what's happening right now in Israel. I see what's happening in Kuwait. I see what's happening in the neighboring Arab nations where Iran's penetration rate with their ballistic missiles that now drop those clusters is higher now than at the beginning of the war. But you can replay it.
I don't know why, but if we didn't have those the B-2 hit, which was so we obliterated, despite CNN. CNN said, well, maybe the word obliteration said, no, we obliterated it, just obliterated their nuclear potential. You would have had them having 2 weeks after that attack, had we not made the attack, they would have had a nuclear weapon. They would have absolutely used it. And they would have used it on the entire Middle East, including Israel.
And then you have Hegseth saying, this is not Iraq. This is not Afghanistan. We have clear objectives. We're not going to tell you what they are. We'll do riddles. Like, we got prizes in the Strait, big prizes. We're not going to tell you what it is. Here, play this clip.
This is not Iraq and Afghanistan. This is not a president who's interested in vague end states. He's been very clear with us about what we need to accomplish, creating the conditions for them never to have a nuclear capability. And that's exactly what we're doing in historic fashion. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Then Donald Trump says, and as you know, today we will have the privilege of shooting up Iran. We have the privilege of blowing up their electric generation plants. Yeah, that's a war crime. That's a war crime. Here, play this clip.
We're roaming free. We can do whatever we want. And as you know, today we were going to have the privilege of shooting down a very big electric generation plant, one of the biggest in the world. And one shot to the right location ends the plant, it collapses. And we held off based on the fact that we're negotiating.
What do you think
Was the turning.
Then Donald Trump starts blabbering about, can you name one thing that's not gone? I don't know, their entire leadership structure right now that's more extreme. You've empowered the Islamic Revolutionary Guard. Everything is just a worse version of it was before. And Iran controls the Strait of Hormuz with an iron fist. But go on, lie. Here, play this clip.
All of the anti-aircraft is gone. Most of their missiles are gone. We either shot them or they shot them and don't have them anymore. They're down to a trickle. Pretty much everything they have is gone. I don't know. Can you name one thing that's not gone, or can you name one thing that's doing well? You know, if you read the papers, you think we're tied. You think we're in a tough battle. We are roaming free over Tehran, the city, Tehran, as opposed to Iran. We're roaming free. We can do whatever we want.
More from Donald Trump here. He looks at someone who's Native American. He's like, ooh, I didn't know that about you. Here, play this clip.
I hope you're happy. But as the only Native American, I didn't know that, huh? Let me look at you. Well, I think that's all right. He's got great quality, I can tell you. It's the only Native American in the Senate. How many have been there before you? Do you know? Native American?
I think 3.
3. Well, you're a fantastic representative, Mark.
Then Donald Trump says that Kamala Harris is low IQ. Let's play it.
Can you imagine that, Jim? She's the border czar. She never called Border Patrol. Explain that to me. He's the worst. She was as bad as he was. Going to give him IQ tests next week under the Trump administration.
And just here are some photos of the significant damage of residential structures in Bnei Brak in central Israel. Tonight, in Israel, it's nighttime, following the impact of multiple cluster munitions. I'll just show you video footage from an hour ago, showing several failed interceptions of Iranian medium-range ballistic missiles that I think have clusters with them as well. This is near the city of Safed in northern Israel. So this is what's going on while Donald Trump's saying he's getting prizes, everybody. Prizes. Play it. There you have it, folks. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 7 million subscribers. And subscribe, most importantly, to Scott McFarlane News. Search that on YouTube, at Scott McFarlane News right now. Subscribe. Tell him MeidasTouch sent you. We did a great video today on Capitol Hill, by the way. Hit subscribe. Thanks so much for watching.
Want to stay plugged in? Become a subscriber to our Substack at MeidasPlus.com. You'll get daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, ad-free episodes of our podcast, and more exclusive content only available at MeidasPlus.com.